whether you're aware of it or not. Now, we're also going to dive into how do you find out those 10 hours of power? How do you find out when your manifestation window is happening? So we'll break it all down. So let's start with number one. What are your most powerful manifestation days every year? So there's a lot of different belief systems around the planet, but overall, you can count on the start of the new year being a powerful manifestation day, January 1st. You can count on the Chinese New Year, that day, being a very powerful manifestation day. There are a lot of belief systems that the start of Aries season is a very powerful manifestation day. So just looking up on the calendar, the first day of Aries, because it can be different every year. That is a very powerful manifestation day. Then we have the summer solstice. Summer solstice is usually around June 21st, a very powerful manifestation year. And you can go back and listen to my episode with Shakti Sita, and we talk all about the power of manifesting on the first day of summer. So check that episode out. And then lastly, you got your solar return, your birthday. And so that could be any time in the year. It's different for everybody. My birthday is in May. That's why I wanted to do this solo episode with you guys, because this is top of mind for me. So you have those different manifestation windows. Now you know kind of how they play out on the calendar. It's almost like the way you look at your life, it's the way you should look at running a business. So business usually breaks down into 4 quarters. So we can break our lives down into those 4 seasons. And within those 4 seasons, you're going to take a look at the life that you're living. What do you like about your life right now? What do you want to change? And then analyze that and make intentions to make the shifts that will better create the life you want. So the same thing is happening on your birthday. You're taking a moment to look at your life, the day-to-day, the weekends, the vacation, the work, the good, the bad. What do you like? What do you want to change? And then let's assess how we can make those changes and what we can start adding in and what we can let go of so our life better reflects how we want to really be living. So that's how you should be taking advantage of your birthdays, making the intentions for shifting your year ahead into the way that you want it to be. Now, how do you find out when it's your solar return or your 10 hours of power? So let's say your birthday, you were born at 1 in the afternoon on April 30th. So your 10 hours of power aren't going to be 1 in the afternoon on April 30th every year. It's going to change because we have leap years. So that's when you want to work with an astrologer. It usually doesn't cost very much, anywhere from $8 to $25. You can usually get an astrologer to look up your solar return timing for the year ahead. If you guys want to learn more about that or find someone that I like working with, I use Miara Rose. And you can find some great episodes I've had with her here on the High Vibration Living podcast. I did a food and astrology podcast episode with her, and you can also look up a solar return episode that we did. But she's the astrologer that I recommend if you want your solar return timing for your birthday, if you want starseed confirmation. I highly suggest Miara Rose. Her website is Awakened Aspects, and I'll add that to the show notes for you guys. And she is who I reach out to get my solar return timing with every year. What I like to do is I also like to do a solar return reading with her every year. So I like for her to look at my charts and just give me a heads up on what's going to be going on in my charts, in my life in the year ahead. And I have to say, with 100% accuracy, she predicts months where it's going to be hard on me and months where life's going to be really easy. And I use that to not overbook myself with commitments in the months that deem going to be more challenging because of certain planetary alignments. And I have to say, she has been spot on every time. So you go into the month and, you just think work is work, life is life, but things come out of nowhere and blindside you. And it's really nice to have the heads up ahead of time. So she's given me my solar return timing. So that way I know that my 10 hours of power. So I know the actual most powerful hour for me to manifest, the 5 hours before, the 5 hours after. So for example, for me this year, my solar return timing starts in the afternoon and goes through the evening. So it starts for me about 2:30 p.m. It's peak around 7:30 and then closes off around midnight. So I will stay focused on learning and talking about and expressing my goals for the year up until the time I go to bed. I'll just make sure that I have a nice quiet evening to myself. So that way all of my manifestational energy is focused on me and going into my intentions for the year. That's how I like to use it.